Good morning. Welcome back to Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Joey Only here. And no, this isn't a scary forecast this time. No, I don't have a scary forecast every time, even though Halloween's coming up. Because if we did, then it wouldn't be scary because you'd know it's coming. You're like, well, that's not scary. I knew he was going to make a scary forecast. So, no scary forecast for today, okay? But just be careful because I might scare you anyways because I'm crazy like that. Anyways, here's Ryan this morning, Vody Line, and taking nice photos. I said, holy cow, that's so crazy. You get up really early. He says, yeah, it's because he's got a course there. And Brandon Houck admits that he gets up at like 2 in the morning because he's a radio weatherman. And I meant to say Scud. There it is.
Bad news. My God. I didn't think it out. Get on!
I'll watch the video later. They try mopping this. Hit like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm the guy who sits up in the mountain in his 100-year-old wooden building that's drafty and doesn't shave or try to look good for YouTube. And I'm not, I got no ladies to impress around here. I really don't care what anyone fucking thinks, actually. And just like to make weather forecasts. I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, that's the guy who lost his mind and now makes weather forecasts. Oh, yeah, I subscribe to him, too. I know what you're saying. I've heard all. Anyways, let's get out the talk. Atmospheric river is passing through BC on its way south, where it's going to go down there and make some flooding and some maybe some landslides and things like that. Could see some power outages in BC when it comes on through. Had the first wind event come through last night. It's actually successive storms. Successive, which means they're going to suck. Well, here's the big picture today. As you can see, we'll start on the west coast here and move our way east. You got the low that's in the Gulf of Alaska, a big low. You can see high pressure down in southeastern BC, where it's probably going to be nice for a little bit longer there. It's still sunny this morning, kind of. The sun's not really like up over the mountain yet, but I mean, it's bluish skies. And then across the west, like mostly high pressure right now. Up in the far north, we got big low moving through. That's making some wind and some snow. Big low pressure system through Ontario right now, kind of spilling on to Quebec and moving its way on out. What else have we got here on our anal surface map? Why'd you have to call it that, guys? Come on, you don't have to call it the anal surface map. You could come up with something other than the anal surface map. I can't even look at this map anymore. Listen, Environment Canada, each to their own. I have no judgment about what you like, but I'm not really into anal. Ah, yes, I can just feel the coffee racing through my bloodstream now, slowly making me crazier and crazier. That's what happens is I make my best videos in the morning when I'm the most unhinged, because that's when I get up and it's the least stoned I'm going to be all day. Yeah, and then I drink a bunch of coffee, and I'm all like, yeah, let's talk about the weather! Well, the wind warning for Hattiguai was dropped this morning. Well, they had some pretty heavy winds there last night, as you can see here on the GFA. You see this upside-down music note with the 4 little feathers sticking out, the 4 little lines there? That is a wind speed indication. Each of those lines represents 10 knots. All right, so we got frequent towering cumulus off the coast there, which is great. That's why we had the possibility of a little bit of lightning off the coast today. I think even when this moves, there's going to be like a couple rounds of storms come through. And this is probably the least exciting of the rounds. This is kind of like maybe 20 mils, 30 mils in Vancouver or whatever tonight. Whereas I think as we come closer to Friday, Saturday, that's when our atmospheric river is going to properly show up in behind and splash the coast pretty good. So we do have this first low coming through. It's going to help knock temperatures down a little bit, I suppose. You can see the cold front there in front of it. We got occasionally alto cumulus and things in behind there. I got all the cloud descriptions there. Thunderstorm possibilities along the ocean side of the coast. The red line here indicating the warm front, so a little bit of warmer air pushing up into central northern BC. Don't get used to it. Won't last very long. Now we see the snowfall increasing in the mountaintops as the cold front moves on through. And you can see that risk of thunderstorm coming out towards maybe Bella, places down the middle coast. That's probably what we're looking at today. The occlusion up at the top into the Yukon, and then we have the warm front now pushing out towards Fort Nelson. We'll probably be happy to have a couple hours of temperatures being just a little bit bumpier up here. There's the high there, stationary high still in southeastern BC, where they get the nice weather the longest. But it will squeeze out today. It will start to squeeze out. You can see that cold front now moving through central interior as we get into later today and towards the evening. So that's what we're looking at. A lot of rainfall and behind that, snow in the high mountains. That's our graphical forecast for today. This is the map that the pilots look at. Freezing and icing possible on the aircraft this morning there. Oh yeah, a lot of it there. So let's see. You can see, well, there's storm number 1 right there. Here's storm number 2, essentially. Although to me, like, they are technically different storms, but they're going to really work together. They're going to be really like, this is kind of trying to join in the party that this first storm is setting. So the stronger storm is going to be the more exciting one. It is its own storm, but it's kind of not its own storm. It's cool that way. Okay, have a little look at where things have been going. No, there we go. There we go. That saves us having to look at a satellite later on. So now you can see kind of the satellite image. You can see moisture moving up and down the coast. And see that Hattiguai has already been taking some rain and some wind last night. Anyways, how much time do we want to spend on all this stuff? Each map has its own little thing it tries to show us. But I don't want to go on for too long. I want to kind of get to the point here and try to get to the point. Look at the turbulence forecast. Wow. Turbulent skies if you're flying over Saskatchewan today. Turbulent skies if you're flying over, looks like Northwest Territories and the Yukon. Some turbulence there. If you wouldn't mind hitting like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm really trying to keep this dream alive. That is my channel. Trying my best to keep the dream alive here, friends. And if you could become a channel member, I would very much appreciate that, or join the Patreon. I can't wait. In a couple weeks' time, we'll have our new season of forecasts for Avalanche Canada coming to us. That'll be really exciting for me because it takes a lot of the work out when I can just look at the mountain weather forecast and see what their professionals are saying with their written forecasts. So really appreciate you guys at Avalanche Canada. I don't know why your map is frozen right now. Here's our atmospheric river, though. You saw it walk on down. Oh, now it's not frozen. Okay. Janky. Storm 1 tonight. Storm 2 coming Thursday night. Start Friday, Saturday deal. There's the atmospheric river moving on down towards California. Sorry about that. I said I wouldn't scare you today. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Back to serious conversation adults are having about the weather. There's our big low. You can see kind of the tail there being like what is our second storm. 959 central low pressure. If that's the case, that is excitingly low. That's very low. See that low kind of sitting in Ontario there, making its way towards the Maritimes today. Other than that, a bit of snowfall up in the Arctic. Fairly nice weather across the United States. There we got Tropical Storm Melissa down there. Melissa, yeah. Tropical Storm Melissa is expected to produce heavy rainfall across Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica through this weekend, bringing a significant risk of flash flooding and landslides. Preparations. Oh, I got the hiccups because I'm drinking coffee. What am I going to do? Ruin my show again today. But I wasn't here to talk about Tropical Storm Melissa. Just wanted to point out that she's down there so that we kind of have our eye on what's going on. Here is the storm moving along the British Columbia coast there. Here it comes on down. You can see the atmospheric river passing through. We could probably see like 100 mils of rain in like the lower mainland, the mountains maybe more. So significant rainfall event through the weekend. Though I think that largely we're looking at it's just a short run, the Canadian model here. Largely, we're looking at, not crazy for BC. Things that we can handle. We can handle 100 mils on the coast. We can handle 20, 30, 50 mils in different systems. So we get the first system. We're not going to be near as bad. Next one after that is the atmospheric river. It will possibly make some power outages and things like that, though. So let's be clear, there is a bit of a risk with this one. It's a bit stronger than usual, but it's not going to stop in any one place. What happened last time, we'll just stop right here, for example, and use this. Last time we had a high pressure sitting in a way in 2021 that blocked the atmospheric river from really moving. So that's why it just stuck in one place and dumped all its rain in Abbotsford. So as long as they keep moving, they're often quite beneficial. There's our hurricane down there, which isn't a hurricane, I guess, yet. But you want to pay attention to that one. That one could intensify. I have a feeling about Tropical Storm Melissa. I'd put some money on that if I was in Vegas. They should have that in Vegas. It should be like gamble on the weather. Let's find out about the atmospheric river. The U.S. government is closed, so the Physical Sciences Laboratory is still updating, I guess. But there's a lot of things that aren't available. This site will not be updated. However, NOAA websites and social media channels necessary to protect lives and property will be maintained. Visit commerce.gov for the latest. This is what a fucking joke country you guys are. An official website of the United States government. Here's how you know. You know because it says the U.S. government is closed. Friggin' clowns down there. Like I love how they just blame the Democrats, even though they're the ones that own the White House, Congress, own the Senate. So like they have all the power, and yet they're like blaming everybody else. So how does that work? How do you just keep gaslighting everybody else and getting away with it? I know I shouldn't talk politics on this show because people are crazy and they'll try to kill me if I say more about politics. Man, I get some whack comments and death threats. And oh yeah, I had a guy today. First thing I read this morning when I open my Facebook, it's like, yeah, well, you're a woke, crazy, liberal, violent. You know, what else they call me? I don't know. You're Hezbollah. You know what? It's like, holy shit, dude. You're a committed, zealot, sociopathic fascist who just believes the craziest crap that people are telling you. So you're going to stand there and be like, well, the government's closed because of them, even though we're the ones with the keys to everything. Go back to our trusty Windy from now on here, and we'll dig into the details. One last run through. This is rainfall accumulation between now and Monday at 7 a.m. And I picked Monday at 7 a.m. because that's when your work week starts. It's like, what will your weekend be like? Heavy rainfall in a lot of the coastal mountains at 176 millimeters. Vancouver Island up over 100, maybe even 200 in a few spots there. Near Tofino, Vancouver Island. Okay, go to Vancouver mainland there, 120 mils. So up over 100 mils for Vancouver. Going to see some rain with that. And then even in the interior, going to see rainfall, sometimes transitioning to snow. Some places, if you're up high in the mountains, more so snow. Here in Wells, a little bit of rainfall, sure. Up in the Pine Pass, a fair bit. If you're anywhere near the western side of the province, you're probably going to take a bit of rainfall and a bit of snow. Rain that will transition to snow in a lot of the mountain areas this weekend. What do we got for new snow during that same time? You might even get a little bit of snow on the 97 highway at some point. I mean, just a dusting or whatever. A couple centimeters here in Wells. That's good news because I'm not ready for 20 or 30 yet. I know that the snow level is going to climb down, so it's going to be warmer. It's warmer right now than it will be this weekend. I think snow that falls on the ground will start to stick in some of these lower areas like I'm in. Vancouver Island Mountain is going to take a little bit of snow. Of course, that's with a mix of rain. And then the big mountains, you could see like a meter of snow fall on some of the big mountains and the coast mountains. So that's big news. Columbia's, Caribou's, and Rockies probably taking a little bit on the high country for sure. I would think if you got travel plans this weekend, driving through any part of BC mountain passes, you are in trouble. It's going to be really bad. So you can see northern BC today, big snowfall event. Rainfall now moved past Haida Gwaii. The wind is lashing up against Vancouver Island North Tip, bringing rainfall to central BC. We'll bump forward a little bit here. There it's coming in. You can see the next line coming in here, the next little substorm. That's the one that's going to be our atmospheric river. It starts arriving. You can see on the west coast, basically tonight, overnight, the first shots will be landing on Haida Gwaii. They might have a new wind warning for Haida Gwaii today. You can see that steady stream, that steady funneling of the rainfall and the wind, and you're starting to see that rainfall. You're starting to see some reds. So you can see reds, very heavy rainfall, very heavy snowfall in that red. So Thursday morning, up on that west coast, you're already going to be taking it hard, and that's going to be Plume. Plume's going to push into northern BC. You're going to have rainfall, snow mix in northern BC, and that's going to slide its way progressively down. And then by the time we get to sometime overnight, maybe Friday morning, is when the lower mainland will likely see that. But look at that heavy rainfall, heavy snow. You can see that heavy, bad and it basically funnels its way right into the interior. So you can imagine Friday we're going to have some unsettled, rainy. I've got the hiccups again. It's ruining my show. I'm a terrible podcaster, terrible YouTuber. I'm sorry. I can't give you your money back, though. I don't have any money. Here's the southern interior. You can see that plume basically reaching in across the interior. So Friday, we're going to see a bit of rainfall move through the southern interior as well as the central interior. And then this weekend, basically, if you have plans to be traveling through the mountain passes, get your shit together, because this low is going to finally draw itself back on up, and then by Saturday, make its way into southern BC. We're going to have a mess. We're going to have a mess of snowfall and flurries and things like that. Not everyone's going to get it equally, but if you're traveling, you might want to be well prepared. That's going to make a new low. As it does, that's going to be a story to start the week over on the other side of the mountains. And look at that, making its way up towards Northwest Territories. You can see that low is going to be bringing a lot of snow up there. Even Fort Nelson taking a fair bit of snow to start the work week next week as that low rockets its way north. And then we have high pressure reestablish itself next week. So a couple nice days again. But you look where this low is. If this high pressure can kind of break down a little bit, let that low come on in, we'll be right back by next Wednesday into crappy weather. So I think we're starting to make that transition proper now to winterish conditions at lower and lower elevations. If you're at the 3,000 foot mark, you might be seeing yourself getting some snow that sticks around and stays, even if not very much. And you can see possibly another atmospheric river still next week. So we're into it good right now. We're into it good. We're in that fall pattern, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. Ooh, beginning of November. It looks like it could be a nasty one for East Coast Canada. Well, that's all the time I got for today. I can't talk forever, although I know you'd like that. Well, actually, I can talk forever, as a matter of fact. Hit like, share, subscribe. I'll be back, and I'll talk more. Okay? Thanks. Bye. Be safe.